Hi, how's your day going? I'm here today to tell you about some audiobooks that are new for summer. And they have all the summer vibes that you'd want. And I'm ready. I've got my hat, I've got my sunglasses, I have some sunscreen on, I even have some iced tea, or if you're down south, sweet tea. So I'm all set. Now, I am going to take the sunglasses off and replace them with my glasses because I won't be able to see what I'm telling you if I don't. All right, so let's see what we've got. So these are specifically on audiobook. I'm sure you can probably get them in paperback or hardcover as well. But I just wanted to do something about audiobooks because a lot of us listen to them, and I know sometimes they get a bad rap, but I think it's good to know what's coming out specifically for audiobooks. So, the first one, and we have some great ones. The first one is called Savvy Summers and the Sweet Potato Crimes by Sandra Jackson Apoku. And I can't guarantee I'm saying that right, but I think so. And this one is a debut mystery. So, it's set on the south side of Chicago. And Savvy Summers is the name of a proprietor of a soul food cafe that's there. And she is famous for her sweet potato pie. But there's a 75-year-old neighbor who's a womanizer, and he drops dead at table number 2 after eating the sweet potato pie. So they have to discover who it was that killed him. His name was Grandy. And to make it worse, her ex-husband is the police sergeant. So it's going to take some work to dig into this murder and figure out who it was that killed this guy before she loses her business. So that's the first one. That comes out on July 29th. So the next one is called For the Record by Emma Lord, and it's coming out August 12th. And this one, and I kind of like when they do this and I kind of don't, but a lot of times they'll say perfect for fans of whatever, and kind of like you're watching Netflix and it's like, well, if you like this, let's recommend that. So this one says it's an electrifying rom-com of rivalry and redemption, perfect for fans of Emily Henry. But this one is about two people, a pop princess named Mackenzie Waters and a punk rock star named Sam Blaze. And they both had terrific careers, but they really clashed on stage. And 2 years later, everything's kind of different. Sam has traded in the rock star lifestyle for raising a son that he didn't realize he had. And Mackenzie had a change to her voice, and she's singing under a pseudonym. And the only way to revive their careers is for them to come together on stage in a new combination and a new tour. And so as they work together to make this happen, they discover a lot of sparks flying and maybe some romantic sparks as well. So that one sounds really good too. So the next one, and I think this one will be great, it's called The Marigold Cottages Murder Collective by Joe Nichols. And this one's coming out August 19th. So this one has Mrs. B, who's the landlady at Marigold Cottages. So she's very picky about who she allows to stay in her cottages. She only rents to people that she cares about. So it's kind of the people who I guess other people might ignore. So she has rented to Sophie, an anxious young playwright with a dark past, Hamilton, an agoraphobe who likes to overshare, Ocean, a queer sculptor raising 2 kids alone, the perfectionist Lily Ann, and Nicholas, a finance bro who's hiding secrets. So that's quite a mix of people that she's got in these cottages. So there are these little dollhouse bungalows in Santa Barbara and just minutes from the beach. So everybody's living their best life, and then she decides to add a new tenant who is Anthony, and he's an ex-con, potentially violent ex-con. And sure enough, he's only there a few days, and they discover a dead body. So he's arrested, and while the tenants are thinking, okay, great, everything's going to go back to normal, Mrs. B decides that he is innocent, and she turns herself in for the crime. So now it's up to the tenants of the Marigold Cottages to get her out of jail and find out who really did kill this person. So I think that one sounds excellent. Can't wait to read it. So I'm going to take a little sip of my tea here. Okay. So the next one comes out a little after summer, but I had to include it because it sounds summery and it sounded so good. So this one is called All the Way Around the Sun, and it's by Shi Tian, and it's coming out September 30th. And this one is YA, and it is about Stella Chen. So her life apparently, really ground to a halt when her brother unexpectedly passed away. So her family's they're not talking about it, nothing's getting resolved. And then they end up moving in her senior year from Illinois to San Diego. And so she's loving her time on the beach and things, but, to think and to try to figure things out. But her family is not helping. So then her families want her to join her estranged childhood friend, Alan, for a college tour all over California. She's not happy about this, but she does. She goes with him. She resents him because he's everything that she wants to be. He's popular, he's gregarious, he's, all the things she wishes she could be. But as they're doing this road trip, she starts to discover why they were once close, and things start to change between them. So I think that sounds like a really sweet coming-of-age story, and got the beachy vibes to it with the California tour, and I think it would be great even for summer. So the next one is called That Last Carolina Summer by Karen White, and this one's coming out July 22nd. So this one, it says it's a captivating Southern drama about sisterhood, secrets, and one woman's reckoning with the past. Can you get any better than that? So it's about Phoebe Manigault. She develops the gift of premonition after she is struck by lightning near a creek near her Charleston home. So she's gone through her life with, trying to deal with that and plagued with dreams, and her sister Addie is beautiful and, all the things that she feels she isn't. So she eventually moves to the West Coast to get as far away from her family as she can. But years later now, she's summoned back to South Carolina to help care for their mother who's ill. And she's drawn to Celeste, who is, I believe, a neighbor. And Celeste's granddaughter went missing years ago. And so Phoebe really likes her, and their connection is quite strong. And then Celeste also has an adult grandson, Liam, who kind of, really complicates the emotions that Phoebe's feeling. And to make it worse, the longer she spends in her childhood home, the worse her recurring nightmares get. And eventually it comes out why. And so I think that one will be really good as well. It sounds, mysterious and, all the lush backdrop of South Carolina. I just think it'll be great. So the next one's called I Can't Even by Jen McKinley, coming out July 8th. So this one takes place with Julia Bloomer in a place called Gulls Harbor, California. And it's a hilly seaside community just north of San Diego. So when she finds out that her domineering mother, Babs, is critically ill, her sisters call her to come home. So she's been living in New York City. She, left kind of in a huff about 10 years before after a big knockdown, drag-out fight with her mother, and hasn't been back since. So she also left behind her old boyfriend, Liam Murphy, and, it's all kind of coming up now, and she's not real crazy about going home, but she does. And she's hoping to kind of, maybe mend some fences, too, with her mother. So she gets into her childhood bedroom, and she looks across out the window, and there's Liam all grown up in his childhood bedroom. So she kind of hides and peeks at him and realizes he turned out pretty good. And so she, starts trying to, mend things with her mother before her mother passes away. And also, she broke Liam's heart years ago, so she's trying to fix all of that. So again, I think that one will be really good, and I think it's got those, summery kind of vibes to it. So the next one's called The Code for Love by Anne Marsh, and this one comes out July 29th. And this one is a neat one. It's a good premise that I haven't seen a lot of. So this one's about a software engineer. Her name's Pandora, and she's known for being kind of prickly and grumpy. And she's working with this surfer who's a world famous surfer. His name is Ozzy, and he's also, I believe, her neighbor. So she's trying to make a name for herself in business. So she creates this app that's supposed to pick a user's ideal travel partner. And she's a little concerned about the app, even though she created it, because it says Ozzy would be her ideal travel partner. And she's like, no way. But her boss says he wants her and Ozzy to travel together. He wants them to fake date and post it all on social media. And they're going to go through Baja California. They're going to go through beaches and deserts and, really start to connect. And she goes along with it because at the end of this is a dream job for whoever does a better job. But she's not happy about it. So I think that one would be great too. Nothing like a road trip, and then you add in a little bit of fake dating. I'm there for it. So the next one is Friends to Lovers by Sally Blakely, and it's coming out July 22nd. So this is about Joni and Ren, and all through their life they've been inseparable. And the way that they've been staying in touch has been to be each other's plus one for weddings. Every time there's a wedding, they'd call each other and the other person would come and they would go to this wedding together. Well, apparently along the way, something happened and the friendship disintegrated, and that was no longer the case. But now Joni is back in her family's summer home for her sister's wedding, and she is determined to make the week perfect for her sister, even if it means faking a friendship with Ren. So it says, and I love this part, it says, but as sunny beach days turn into starry nights, Joni begins to question what her life is without Ren in it. So I think that one's going to be excellent. So the next one is A Summer for the Books by Michelle Lindo Rice, and it's coming out July 15th. And this one has a dual timeline, and it's about two besties coming back together. And I've never seen a dual timeline like that, so I'm interested to see how they do this. But this one is about Jewel Stone, and it looks like she has it all. The perfect marriage, the best-selling author career, dream home. And really, she doesn't have any of that. Her marriage is falling apart. She's got writer's block. Nothing's working for her. But then her former best friend needs her help. So Shelby Andrews was her best friend, and she wakes up in the hospital after a biking accident. And she can't remember the last 12 years. So as far as she's concerned, Jewel is still her best friend. She doesn't even remember the daughter that she has who's away at camp. And so she calls Jewel, and Jewel comes to her side. And so they start talking about, the past and which is, the present to Shelby. And so they really start learning all the different things about each other, and we'll see where it goes from there. But sounds great, and I'm not sure where they get the dual timeline, whether it's just that they're talking the past of the relationship compared to now, or what exactly they mean by that, but I'm interested to see. They've got my attention. So the next one is called Second Chance at Sunshine Inn, and it's by Amy Clipson, and it's coming out July 8th, which was yesterday, so that one's out. So this one, it says, welcome to the Sunshine Inn, a picturesque coastal inn with sweeping views and two new owners who couldn't be more opposite. So this is a no-spice, grumpy sunshine romance. And so it starts out with Everly Harnett, who's a traveling NICU nurse who inherited half of her godmother's beloved seaside bed and breakfast. Well, the other half is Cade Witherspoon. So she wants to sell the inn. He does not. He wants to run the inn and have a fresh start for himself. So they're really opposite in every way. She's sunshine and laughter. He's rough edges and brooding. And of course, they clash. And then the arrival of Cade's long lost brother and then the threat of a developer kind of really brings them together in a different way. So I think that one's going to be excellent as well. And that is a heck of a list of audiobooks that are coming out for summer. And I'm excited. I'm hoping I get to some of them. I don't know if it'll be in the summer, but they all sound terrific. And I really like the idea of a lot of them. I think out of all those, I think my favorite is going to be the Murder Collective one, Marigold Cottages Murder Collective. I think that one sounds excellent, and I really like that, kind of boarding house sort of thing where everyone comes together. I think that would be a really good story. So that is it for my audiobook summer reads. Hope you heard something in there that you like. If you are interested in listening to any of those, leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear what one you think you'd listen to. And I'm excited to do that. So I'm going to put on my glasses and go out on my deck into the sunshine, and I'm ready to listen to some books. All right. Have a great day, friends. Bye-bye.